We interrupt our regularly scheduled programming to bring you My Quarantine Fitness Plan. So that's happening. And if you're anything like me, you've probably spent the first couple days of this quarantine process eating and drinking like a maniac. I mean, working from home is great. It's even better with cereal. This massive overconsumption has been a great way to distract myself from the constant barrage of chaos in the news, but after a much-needed fitness break, it's time to get back to work because, unfortunately, Mother Nature doesn't cut our bodies a break. Not even when pandemic strikes. Bitch. So in this video, I'm going to break down my coronavirus quarantine fitness plan into 3 parts. First, we're going to cover my approach to fun, effective at-home workouts. Then, I'll share my thoughts on healthy eating during the lockdowns. And finally, perhaps most importantly, we'll talk mindset. How can we stay sane and positive and limit stress while all of this is happening? Quick disclaimer, before we dive into this, let me remind you that I am not an expert in any regard. I'm just a normal guy, perhaps kind of a crazy guy, who's been on a constant path towards improving my physical and mental health, and along the way I'm trying to share what I learn with other people. Right now, I think we need to focus on our health more than ever before, so without further ado, let's get into the workouts. Alright, first let's reframe the way we're looking at this. I know a lot of people who have looked at the gym closure as an opportunity to just give up, but guys, that is just the pessimistic way out. Try looking at this as an opportunity to shift your focus. Perhaps we can shift our focus away from brute strength and body image and take time to care for the body and to focus on things that we may have been neglecting for the past couple months or years. This is a time to improve endurance, stamina, mobility, flexibility, and plyometric skills. This is a time to take stock of your meat vehicle. Perhaps it's time you rotate the wheels, change the oil, adjust the brakes, and then after a couple months of this, you can go back to the gym in a souped up, pimped out ride. For me, building legitimate programs and actually tracking my progress is the only way to know that I'm actually making gains during my workouts. I've personally fallen into the trap of, working out for months, maybe even years without tracking anything, then you have no proof of progress at the end of the day. Always prioritize programming over just exercising. Always prioritize habits and rituals over acute one-off workouts. My goal with this video is to give you an exercise programming template that you can use and reuse and edit and make your own. This isn't just a follow-along exercise video. I'm not just cooking you dinner. I'm trying to teach you how to cook a 3-course meal that all makes sense together. I'll link this workout routine template in the description and comments of this video. It's a Microsoft Word document, but if you don't have Microsoft Word, you can just download it and re-upload it to Google Drive for free. From there, you can edit the plan to your liking and print it out to keep track of your own workouts. I don't have a printer, so I have to keep track the old-fashioned way. My quarantine program consists of 3 full-body circuit-style workouts: Workout A, Workout B, and Workout C. I'll do one of these workouts each day for 3 days in a row, then take a rest and repeat the cycle, tracking every set as I go and hopefully improving my performance as time goes on. It flows like this: A, B, C, day off. A, B, C with improved performance, day off. A, B, C with even more improved performance, day off. A, B, C with even more improved performance, day off. Then we switch some things up and repeat a new cycle. So we're turning our training into phases and watching ourselves progress as time goes on. You can use this for as long as the quarantines last, which hopefully isn't too horribly long. I'll also note that when there's not a global crisis happening, I don't train this frequently because you need time to recover from lifting heavy weights. But when it comes to full body weight movements, I find that you don't need quite as much time to recover. Plus, working out every day might be good for you mentally right now. Each full body circuit workout consists of 10 exercises. As the workout progresses, the exercises focus on different body parts, so that some muscle groups can rest while other muscle groups do most of the work. Then repeat the entire circuit of all 10 exercises a total of 2 to 4 times, and only rest between the complete circuits, not each set. So far, I've been repeating the entire circuit a total of 3 times per workout session, but if you're new to this or in a hurry, you could just repeat it twice, or if you have some time on your hands and perhaps you're over-caffeinated, you could do it 4 times. Each progression through the entire circuit should take about 10 to 15 minutes. Therefore, the entire workout should take around 30 to 45 minutes. Workouts A, B, and C all follow this structure. The only difference between the workouts is the actual exercises performed. I would encourage you to take this template and plug your own exercises into it based on your current skill level, your goals, your preferences, or the equipment you have access to. But right now, I'm just going to share with you what I'm currently doing as inspiration. One more quick disclaimer. Please note that we're going to be going over about 30 exercises, so in order to save time, I'm not going to dive into detail on each one. I'm just going to show it on the screen with some text while I go over general guidelines about the programming. If you want to learn how to do a specific movement, I would recommend searching Google or YouTube, or let me know in the comments if you'd like a video detailing each exercise specifically. Don't say I didn't warn you. Now, let's get into the workouts. You definitely want to start your workouts with a warm-up. Don't train cold muscles. Typically, I'll start with some light yoga, then go for a short walk, and then do some ballistic stretching. Ballistics are moving stretches, like jumping jacks, air boxing, windmills, or even dancing. This is a better pre-workout than static stretching. For each exercise, I recommend performing reps until form failure. That means when your form is a little off, you stop. That could mean 5 reps, or it might mean 30 reps. When in doubt, prioritize form and take the movements slow, maximizing time under tension and improving the mind-muscle connection. I've said it once, I'll say it again. This is about getting results. It's not about getting hurt. Right now, I know that I personally need to show some attention to my shoulder mobility and rotator cuffs, so I'm doing a movement I call angels and devils every day. I think other people call this handcuffs, but I like to call it angels and devils. Sorry. I'm performing 5 slow repetitions of this movement at the end of each circuit workout, A, B, and C, until a few weeks go by and I inevitably change up all of the exercises. Although you don't need any equipment to work out from home, I would highly recommend investing into a door frame pull-up bar if you want to make the most out of your pulling movements. For better or worse, my pull-up bar only fits on the upstairs door frame, so in order to incorporate it into my workouts, I have to run up 2 flights of stairs. Kind of inconvenient, but it's a great way to get some bonus steps in throughout the day.
Left, right, take a bite. Left, right.
For most of these exercises, you'll want to keep your back tall and straight, and you'll want to keep your shoulders rolled back to combat the forward-facing posture that most of us fall into as we get sucked further and further into digital screens all day, especially while working from home. Also remember that any of these movements can be made more difficult by simply adding weight. Perhaps you can find a way to hold some buckets or some jugs of water. If any movement is too difficult for you to do comfortably, please replace it with literally anything else that targets the appropriate muscle group. For example, every push-up variation can be made easier by anchoring at the knees rather than at the feet. You'll also want to keep slight bends in your knees and elbows most of the time to avoid locking out your joints and potentially damaging them. Right now, I'm also trying to work on my balance, so you can do the same by throwing in a stability ball wherever you see fit. So that's how the workouts work. And on top of these workouts, I'm also making sure that I hit 10,000 steps every day with the help of this handy-dandy Fitbit Versa. I'm doing this for 2 reasons. 1, I'm working on another ridiculous 30-day challenge, and 2, it just helps me to unplug from my desk for a second and get my mind off of everything. If all of this seems like a little much to you, feel free to modify things, skip things, and really make working out your own. The bottom line is this: some exercise is better than none. That has been proven by the American Heart Association time and time again. Just getting your steps in can do so much for your health. So during this time, I recommend you do what you can do, but more importantly, you do what you will do. If these workouts ain't your thing, just go for a hike, jump some rope, do some yoga or Zumba, or do 100 burpees a day for 30 days. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Alright, so that's enough about output. Let's talk about input. Food. I'm not an expert, but as far as I know, there isn't any one magical superfood or super diet that's going to prevent you from getting the coronavirus. Keto won't stop it, paleo won't stop it, vegan won't stop it, carnivore won't stop it. Right now, I wouldn't recommend doing some sort of giant radical shift to your eating style. What I would recommend is that you eat for your health, both physical and mental. We tend to talk a lot about eating for physical health. Getting the proper macronutrient ratios, proteins, carbs, and fats, and getting enough of the right micronutrients, the minerals, and the vitamins. But what we don't always address is that it's sometimes really important to eat for your mental health. Sometimes ordering takeout to support a local business while you have a glass of red wine with your significant other as you play Scrabble under quarantine is just what your soul needs. Sometimes it's wise to eat in a way that prioritizes our connection to other humans. We have to ask ourselves, what is the true value of this food? I'm not saying you should go stress eat a Snickers bar while watching the evening news, but I am saying that perhaps you de-thaw some of grandma's zucchini bread and have a slice after dinner because it provides comfort and familiarity in a time when things are disorderly and chaotic. Granted, 80% of the time it's probably more important to eat for your physical health, but right now, I don't think that we should let that vitally important 20% slip away. My simple recommendations as to eating for physical health during this pandemic are to follow the 3 Ps: increase protein, decrease processing, and increase plants. If you can remember this simple mantra, you'll find yourself eating mostly whole, real foods. You'll be sustaining muscle mass with ease amidst the gym closures, and you'll even be getting a lot of essential vitamins and minerals along the way. As for protein, some of my favorite protein sources include meat, fish, eggs, yogurt, cottage cheese, and even the occasional protein shake, though I do prefer to get my protein from less processed sources. Now we'll get into processing. When it comes to processed foods, the more a food is processed, the more it confuses your natural hunger hormone signaling. If you want to worry less about overeating, make eating simple by eating simply. Try to eat foods that have taken less steps away from their natural form. For example, let's talk about peanut butter. Let's say it goes under 1 round of processing when it's ground into a butter-like substance. Then it goes through another round of processing when oils, sugars, and salts are added. Then it goes through yet another round of processing when it's blended with artificial flavors and refined grains and shoved into a box to resemble something that the big food corporations recommend you should consume as part of a balanced breakfast. You can make eating a lot more simple by just eating simply. Now, as for plants, remember that the frozen and canned fruits and vegetables are often just as nutritious, if not more so, than the fruits and veggies sitting out in the open. You don't have to worry about getting to the grocery store before all the fresh fruits and vegetables are picked dry and perhaps even breathed on. You can simply go through the freezer and canned goods aisle and get your veg on that way and feel good about it. If you've been on some sort of extreme bulking or cutting diet, now might be the time to try to find maintenance. If you find yourself more sedentary and stressed out than usual, now might not be the right time to continue on a stressful way of eating. I know personally I was on a mad bulk before all of this happened, eating a ton of extra calories every day, and right now I'm just slowly trying to cut that back down to more of a baseline maintenance mode of eating. Okay, enough about me. We talked about output, we talked about input. Let's talk about the thing in the middle, the thing that experiences all of this. Let's talk about your mind. Having an optimized exercise and eating plan is great, but if you allow this coronavirus to get the best of your mind, the odds are still against you. Stress plays a huge role in our overall health and our general experience of life. This is a crazy time to be alive, and it's going to be hard to keep your cool sometimes. So here's what I've been doing to calm myself down amidst the chaos. Practicing gratitude. I've been writing down something that I'm grateful for every morning in my journal. I know that this sounds a little hokey, but it actually really works to make you realize how lucky you are. Meditation. Now, this isn't for everybody, honestly, and if meditation starts to stress you out even more, you don't have to incorporate it into your life right now, maybe save it for later. But I know that you can get started with a simple app like Headspace, which I know has a free 30-day trial, which you might want to try right now. But even micro meditations are super valuable. I find that if I close my eyes and take a deep breath for just 5 seconds in between tasks throughout the workday, I can calm down a lot. I also really like this application from Brian Eno called Bloom. It generates infinite possibilities of unique sounds. I'll toss this on quietly while I walk around the block to get some extra steps in, and it really helps to clear my mind. Bonding activities. Get your nutrition and your mind in the right place by cooking a great meal with your loved ones. Me and my girlfriend have been going crazy cooking excellent meals this whole time, and it's been a great way to eat both delicious and nutritious food while spending some quality time together in the evenings. I'm also trying to get into scheduling some digital hangouts with the people I can't be around physically. You can use platforms like Zoom and FaceTime and Skype. They really come in handy at a time like this. Solo activities. Of course, now is a time to take up some hobbies, work on some art projects, read a book, binge a podcast, watch all of my YouTube videos. But one thing that was really powerful for me to do on my own last year, which I'm going to try to revisit this year, is decluttering. Spend some time decluttering your wardrobe and prep your clothes to donate for after the lockdown. This is a pretty profound experience to know that all of your excess is going to people who actually need it. And I imagine that after the lockdowns are over, there are going to be plenty of people in need, although I'm not sure if places like Goodwill are accepting donations right now. Sleep. We need to prioritize our sleep. Turn off devices when the sun goes down, or perhaps just throw on some blue light blocking glasses. Right now is a time to get your circadian rhythm in check and see how easily all of these other factors fall into place. And last but not least, don't panic. Overall, the best approach to take during a time like this is to be prepared yet calm. Preparing does not equal panicking. We can realize the bad, but focus on the good. As Mr. Rogers said, when I was a boy and I would see scary things in the news, my mother would say to me, look for the helpers. You will always find people who are helping. If you're kind of freaking out about this whole thing, realize that there are humans all over the globe that feel the same way that you do. No matter what their gender or color or nationality is, they are all humans with a similar genetic biological history. All these institutions that we take for granted as permanent fixtures are all composed of real people with real human bodies, bodies that are susceptible to pain and pandemic. It's only in the darkness that the light can shine the brightest. Now is the time to look to our local communities to see who needs help, see who's already helping. Stop hoarding the toilet paper and realize that we are in this together. Families, friends, businesses, and beyond. Perhaps you have a little extra. Now might be the time to give some of your surplus into somebody else's deficit. It's in this spirit that I've decided to donate this month's Patreon income to a worthy cause. The Weaver family lives just down the street from my parents. They're great people. Last week they lost their home due to a house fire. Everything is a total loss. Not to mention, this all happened basically the night before everything in Pennsylvania went on total lockdown. Imagine, everybody on the news is telling you to stay in your home. You don't have a home. Imagine everybody is hoarding the toilet paper and you don't even have a toilet. Due to the coronavirus outbreak, they can't accept physical donations right now, but they are taking contributions on GoFundMe, which is where I'll be redirecting my Patreon income for the month of March, and where you can choose to contribute perhaps just a little bit if you find the kindness in your heart. There's going to be a link in the description and comments of this video where you can support the Weaver family as they replace everything. Thanks so much, you guys. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about anything I discussed, and until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay subscribed, and we'll see you in the next one.